One of the largest subreddits in Canada with more than 3.2 million members just permanently banned a journalist. Why? Because he asked why his article was removed from the subreddit. See, Luke has a substack called Convoy Watch, which you should all be subscribed to. And he covered the anti-LGBTQ activist who ambushed Justin Trudeau while he was on a family ski trip. You know, the one where she told him to get the BC. Constructive feedback. Anyways, Luke is an incredible journalist and he uncovered tons of stuff about Emily Duggan, the woman who ambushed Trudeau, including that she runs a group called Moms Against the Norm, which has protested drag queen storytime events and vital educational programs on sexual orientation and gender identity. Luke also uncovered a questionnaire that Duggan had filled out during a failed bid to become a school board trustee in BC. At one point, she wrote that gender diversity is an ideology. Luke's article on this is phenomenal, and you should all read it because it shows that a lot of the grievances this woman seems to wield are tied to anti-LGBTQ sentiment, and it exposes even more of her ties to the far right. After reading Luke's article, I went and found the stuff she publicly shares on her Facebook page. She shares a lot of transphobic stuff, including alongside posts that are seemingly supportive of Pierre Poilievre. So yeah, that seems to be what drives this person who ultimately got so worked up she confronted Trudeau on a family ski trip. A lot of stuff that isn't actually happening the way that she thinks it is. Anyways, Luke broke this story because he's amazing and put it on Convoy Watch. Then, because it's a great story, someone took it and posted it on Canada's largest subreddit, which is like a big forum. And shortly afterwards, it was removed. So Luke reached out to the moderators of this forum and asked them why. They said, quote, "We don't allow blogs." But Luke is an employed journalist, and what they called a blog is actually his Substack. And it seems like this is a pretty arbitrary decision because the subreddit has allowed several other Substacks in the past, including from the right-leaning publication The Line and several other posts from conservative MPs and staffers. So Luke pointed that out, and they thanked him for bringing this to their attention and promptly removed all but one of them. And then they permanently banned Luke from their subreddit. Now, this is not the first time that questions have been raised about Canada's largest Reddit forum, or even about Canada's smaller Reddit communities. In February, Brett McKay reported for the St. Albert Gazette that Reddit forums for several small Alberta cities had an influx of several accounts downvoting LGBTQ content and spamming comment sections with inflammatory content. And when Reddit's year-end recaps were released, they found that Russia was the third most common country of origin for users visiting many of those subreddits. Meanwhile, journalist Ben Shannon also dug into some of the fishiness that he saw on Canada's largest subreddit. You know, the one that banned Luke's article. He watched it for a week and found that 24% of the top 10 posts over that period of time were from just 3 users, which he also found was uncommon compared to other countries' subreddits, which had way more variation in who was posting their largest posts. Anyways, I reached out to Luke about what he experienced, and here's what he told me. Quote, "At a time when newsrooms are being decimated by layoffs and social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram are outright blocking news content, it's becoming harder than ever to connect Canadians with public interest journalism and information about their democracy. Our Canada has 3 million subscribers, and it's a major driver of online news and information in Canada. There have been serious questions raised by others about who the anonymous moderators of Our Canada are and how they make moderating decisions. It seems problematic that they are cherry-picking which news organizations or substacks are allowed to be posted, especially when these rules are inconsistently enforced. Reddit is a multi-million-dollar publicly traded company that relies on amateur moderators to provide them with free labor. These moderators sometimes have incredible power over what information millions of people see. The fact that I was permanently banned from Our Canada just for asking the moderators to explain why they removed a news story with significant public interest value only goes to show how unaccountable these people are. I think Reddit needs to seriously look at how national or regional subreddits with millions of subscribers are moderated, because this work should not be outsourced to amateurs doing volunteer work. So whether it's just incompetence, partisanship, or something more nefarious, there is something fishy going on in Canada's subreddits. So you'll want to think critically about the information you see on there and who is deciding whether you see it. What do you think of all this?